What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka the Biscuit Beretta, aka the Komaki Tiger Drop, aka put some jelly on my elbow and suck it off. aka the Nigga Lip Master. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, episode 181. Man, boy, let's get in touch with what's been going on lately. Happy Starfield launch. If you got the Constellation Edition and or Premium Edition, I believe. So that's been an interesting ride in of itself. People getting very, very judgy on a game that hasn't officially been out in the wild yet. So that was an interesting side of the internet I saw. But hey, you know, that's what happens with these overhyped games or whatnot. So I mean, I understand it. Happy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge DLC day. This is, oh boy, man, it's a lot. There's a lot that's coming out. There's so much coming out. Yeah. Outside of that, damn, I don't know. Not much outside of that. Other than that though, have a good show for you today. We'll talk about some Armor Core 6, Like a Dragon Ishin yet again, Gamescom 2023, of course. So you know what? Let's stop. Oh man. Let's Oh man, I don't know why I'm dying right now, but I am. Aren't we all dying though? I didn't mean to get existential like that. I'm sorry. Let me refrain. Um, that took a turn out of nowhere. Let's stop the dilly dally and get right into it. First topic of discussion. Damn it, I messed up my codes. Son of a bitch. Son of a biscuit. Yummy biscuits. Put some butter on them. Don't you dare put some jelly on them, boys. Whew. What you, boy. Don't you dare put jelly. Strawberry at that. Man. So, Gamescom 2023 happened last week, I believe. Jeff Keighley doing his thing in August. Yeah, I did not see the full show necessarily, but I, of course, got the truncated notes. Shouts out to IGN. I'm not gonna go over everything that was announced, but we'll touch on some things. So at least not chronological as well. Excuse me. Had to let that out. Let that burp out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What do you want? I'm only human. Starfield. We got another trailer. Just on the coattails of its release. Then Todd Howard came out himself. I forgot what he said. They asked him something about. I'm curious now. What did he say? We love you. We love you, Todd. Oh my God. Damn it. I forgot he said something that would what did he say? He said something like, damn it, I forgot. It was notable at least, but it doesn't come to mind. So that happened. Zack Snyder showed Rebel Moon, I guess his new Netflix show slash, well, I guess movie that's split into parts thing. I guess that was a little, felt kind of out of place, but I guess Gamescom. I guess also Jeff Keighley did set expectations. He's like, no crazy announcements are gonna be shown here necessarily. So that good on him in terms of yeah, just tempering expectations basically. We did see a little campaign snippet from Modern Warfare 3. It seems like they are back at Verdansk, which was the Warzone map from Modern Warfare 2019. Oh, I felt it. I had to let it go. Yeah, for Warzone. But now I believe, it's in Modern Warfare 3. It seems like they're doing a lot of free roam missions. I believe they alluded to during some previous interviews or whatnot. So kind of seems on brand. And I mean, not to devalue the game at all, but it seems like maybe that's kind of a shortcut they were able to do to, maybe cut down development time potentially. I guess we'll see when the full game comes out either way, but got that. Alan Wake 2 got a little snippet trailer showing the dark side of Alan Wake. You don't want to see it as dark side because it's something. Diablo 4 season of blood. Diablo 4 season 2 called Season of Blood. I guess apparently adds a vampire hunter companion. I've been so detached from Diablo. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how. What that is that good? I guess it's good. I would assume if normally they add new people, that is better, But I may not digress. Mortal Kombat 1 got a juicy ass trailer showing two new fighters. Sindel, her fine self with the hair, she whipping the hair back and forth. No Willow Smith. And General Shao. So because this is the rebooted timeline, General Shao is not Shao Kahn, at least potentially maybe not at all in this new timeline. So that was interesting. I was like, oh, General Shao, not Shao Kahn. So I'm curious to see how that plays out in the story mode of the game, inevitable story mode of the game. But man, yeah, boy, I've probably said it many of times, but man, those fatalities, boy, they are getting graphic. They are. I mean, I like them though. Don't get it twisted. I like it. Motaro saw his cameo. Looked pretty. Well, I guess that was the thing with the cameos. Pretty much, almost all of them are faithful to the original Mortal Kombat or whatever they came from in that sense. So I guess it's kind of a way to kind of harken back at them, and at least from a story standpoint, I'm curious if they do actually implement them story wise. I assume so. I mean, it kind of makes sense that maybe they somehow can do it, or maybe it's just some thing you just don't really. Oh, don't mind them. They're just cameo. They're just cameo character. I mean, can you see them? I mean, yeah, they're cameo character. So where do they come from? I don't know, man. I'm just playing the game. I just don't know. Shujinko, shouts out to Shujinko. You love to see it. For those that may not know, Shujinko was the I guess he wasn't necessarily a created character, but he was the single character you you controlled in Mortal Kombat Deceptions Conquest mode, which was basically kind of like a single player adventure mode, basically, where you do fights in between, pretty much what Street Fighter Six's World Tour mode is currently. So shouts out to Shujinko. Man, I'm loving the lore love and re-implementation in Mortal Kombat 1. That's definitely one thing I gotta give to MK1. They really redeeming a lot of the characters. Like you see a lot of characters that you thought you would not see, but then you see them and they feel fairly pretty much redeemed, for at least from what was shown in the trailers at least. So you gotta love it. I'm very hyped for Mortal Kombat 1. September 4th, 5th, 16th, something like that. And along with other fighting game news, Tekken 8, Harada and the producer guy / translator for Harada went on stage, and they revealed an additional trailer for a new mode. Well, I guess it's a story trailer, but it's like I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. I forgot what their terminology was. What's it called? Arcade something. Arcade Quest. So it's like basically it seems like you make your own like Xbox avatar. Basically it looks very much like it. You create your own Xbox avatar, and I assume you just go through general story beats, but not in line with the main story of Tekken 8, which that is technically separate. So I'm curious how this plays out, but I assume it's basically to get the same vibe and feel of, being in an arcade, since that's pretty much almost non-existent at this point. So, but yeah, we also got an official release date, January 26th, 6th, 2024. So I think that's what a lot of us were speculating, either January or February. So good to get that confirmation. They also revealed a lot of characters, actually. I felt like they revealed like 3-4 characters in this trailer alone. I know they revealed Steve Fox. So Steve Fox confirmed. Dragunov. I know the Dragunov fans rejoice. I don't think they revealed Claudio from who I premiered in 7 as well. He's in. Maybe that's it. Oh, Shaheen, other 7 premiere character. Oh yeah, boy, man. Oh, Leo is in. Yoshimitsu, of course. It wouldn't be Tekken without Yoshimitsu. Shouts out to whoever designed this Yoshimitsu. He looks pretty dope. I love the blue accents. Overall, the costume is dope. That's probably the best, at least off the top of my head, probably the best Yoshimitsu design in the history of Tekken specifically. So loving that. And yeah, that was it. So what, like 4 new characters or 4 confirmed characters that weren't revealed necessarily yet? Arcade Quest, and we got a release date, January 26, 2024. Assassin's Creed Mirage trailer, Cyberpunk 2077 2.0. Guys, so it's basically Cyberpunk 2077 Guys, We've Heard You edition. Where basically this is, at least from what I've heard and some of the stuff I've seen, it seems like this is like the redemption patch / DLC. It feels like. Who knows? Maybe I'm tempted to dive back in to see how much it has improved since I played it when it initially came out. I didn't have a necessarily horrible experience, but I don't know, it just didn't live up to the hype I had for it. I will say that. So you got that. You got that. Sonic Superstars gets a release date for October 17th, 2023. I guess there's Sonic Frontiers update. Is that? Oh, Little Nightmares 2. I know that's a big announcement for a lot of people. Yeah, and I guess the biggest notable change with this is that it is no longer, I forgot the previous developer, but with this developer is Supermassive, who are known for the what are the games? The story based games, the Dark Picture anthology games, as well as Until Dawn, I believe. So that's pretty dope. Black Myth Wukong trailer. Looking pretty scrumptious, I have to say. Looking very good. That monkey put in work. I don't know where he trained at, but I need to follow. I need to follow. Anything else notable? I think that's pretty. Oh man, yeah. Crimson Desert. This game looks dope as hell. I'm very skeptical though. It apparently, at least it seems like it's potentially going to be free to play, since I think it's based off a free to play a previously existing free to play game. I think Black Desert Online or something. But this looks dope as hell. It looks, you could be kicking and tripping people. You're in like a medieval fantasy setting. You were like free falling like Zelda, riding horses and ramming people. It's like Grand Theft Horsey but medieval. I mean that definitely has my attention. That's for sure. Very expansive world, and yeah, man, it. I hate that I am, but well, you know, the games have done this to us previously, but I don't know. It feels too good to be true. I feel like, yeah, I was watching Easy Allies' reactions on this previously. Like, what is the catch? What is the catch? It's got to be some catch. Is it free to start? Free to start? And like what, after 15, 20 hours, when of course you're already locked in at that point, likely. You're like, but can you give us 40 more bucks, and just give us 40 bucks and you can play the rest. You can play it to completion if you want. So we'll see. We shall see. I don't think there was any date. Probably this feels like a game that's probably going to need a beta period. And then we'll eventually, quote unquote, officially release. So, but yeah, this is definitely, man, this caught my attention for sure. I'm very interested if it's what it alludes to be. Let me disclaimer that first and foremost. So yeah. Killing Floor 3. We got official launch trailer to Armor Core 6. What else? Genshin Impact trailer, concert reveal trailer. I don't know what that is. Payday 3 with Ice-T narrating. That's pretty interesting. As somebody who's not really played Payday 3, my interest was piqued a little bit. And that seemingly was it. So, wow. Pretty decent showing for Gamescom. I mean, again, Jeff did temper expectations. It was sad to see, I guess it was yet another dude running up on stage trying to, I guess his angle was, when's GTA 6? I guess that was his plan all along, just to bring awareness of where's GTA 6, even though you're speaking to the choir. I mean, it's old news, but whatever. It wasn't. I would have liked to see his ass get tackled, though. I ain't gonna lie. When you be seeing them, running on the field, and they just be getting just hit sticked like no other. It was unfortunate, but because boy, when you knock the wind out of them, they be like, man, you know what? I probably shouldn't have did that, and then they probably don't do that. But I digress. Overall, yeah. I mean, again, yeah. Expectations were tempered, so what can you expect? What can you expect if those expectations were tempered? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Moving on. Embracer Group, which is feels like this big conglomerate company that just mindlessly bought almost everything it felt like. In particular, the shutting down Volition Games, and for those that may not know, Volition Games was the biggest developer, probably the most notable developer for the Saints Row series. Even all the way back to the first Saints Row, on the Xbox 360, pretty much all the way up until the rebooted Saints Row that unfortunately didn't fare that well. But Saints Row as well as Red Faction. So some people may be familiar with Red Faction. I've played a little bit of Red Faction, but yeah, at least I know them mostly from Saints Row. But at least to read their little snippet here that they dropped on Twitter, I believe. The Volition team has proudly created world-class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years. We've been driven by a passion for our community and always worked to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced a restructuring program to strengthen Embracer and maintain its position as a leader in the video game industry. As part of that program, they evaluated strategic and operational goals and made the difficult decision to close Volition effective immediately. To help our team, we are working to provide job assistance and help smooth the transition for our Volition family members. We thank our customers and fans around the world for all the love and support over the years. You will always be in our hearts. Volition Games. So damn. That is it's messed up. Messed up. And I was a fan of the Saints Row games. Didn't really give this reboot necessarily a fair shake as of yet, but was planning to at some point. But would have loved to see more from Saints Row. I guess technically that isn't off the table. At worst, it would be another company working on the game, but that always feels weird at certain points. But who knows? That has been successful in some cases. I mean, if you look at Halo, well. Depending on who you ask, I felt like they did a good job, at least with the multiplayer. I'll say that. I thought the campaign was actually pretty good, but nonetheless, that it's never fun seeing these companies being shut down. You hate to see it, you really do, because that is messed up, and keeping that layoff train unfortunately going. They also made layoffs, reportedly made layoffs to Gearbox Publishing. So I believe these are the folks behind Borderlands, most notably to my knowledge. I could be wrong. Maybe I think that might be a different company. And that, I guess, publishing specifically. Gearbox began to publish games from third-party studios, with its debut title being the 2016 remaster People Can Fly's Bulletstorm. Recent releases includes Remnant 2 and Hyper Light Breaker for coming in 2024. So I guess that's what they seem to be known for. But goodness, taking everything out. They really are. Hope everybody, gets back on their feet, because man, that is never fun or great. It is not. Moving on. Charles Martinet, who we all know and love as the pretty much iconic, legendary voice of Mario in pretty much almost everything Nintendo that includes has Mario in it, to my knowledge at least, has announced that he's stepping down for the voice of Mario, as in he's no longer voicing Mario, but he has a new role of Mario Ambassador, which I'm not sure what that means. It feels like it's a means to like not I don't know. It feels like it's a means to not make it seem so definitive, I guess. I don't know. That, he's still around and will offer insight and guidance, I guess, for another aspiring Mario voice. But here's the official statement from Nintendo. Charles Martinet has been the original voice of Mario in Nintendo games for a long time, as far back as Super Mario 64. Charles is now moving into the brand new role of Mario Ambassador. With this transition, he will be stepping back from recording character voices for our games, but he will continue to travel the world sharing joy of Mario and interacting with you all. It has been an honor working with Charles to help bring Mario to life for so many years, and we want to thank and celebrate him. Please keep an eye out for a special video message from Shigeru Miyamoto and Charles himself, which we will post at a future date. So there you go. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. You see a lot of people going at it. I forgot, it was some tweet by Ben Starr, I believe, who's the voice of Clive Rossfield from Final Fantasy 16. His rendition of audition of Mario was pretty funny. It was basically just him acting as Clive, but trying to be Mario, which was it's pretty funny, and cussing and whatnot as well. I guess the biggest question is, who is the next Mario? Which, I think rumors, either rumors or people just naturally going to it, or assuming because of the Mario movie that recently came out, is that it's Chris Pratt, but I just don't really see him being that. I think it's just somebody else that will be Mario, just straight up, like another Charles Martinet in the making, is my assumption. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be definitely weird, that initial, voice. I guess apparently this is going to start with the new game coming out in October, Super Mario Wonder, or Mario Wonder. So I guess I assume they're keeping it under wraps until then. And then I assume they'll come out with the news probably around, before or after the release of Mario Wonder. So interesting stuff. With all that being said, that concludes the news for this episode. Get into what I've been playing, which has been Like a Dragon Ishin. So finally finished it. Man, I forgot how good Yakuza games were, which they are really, really, really good. I'll say that first and foremost. And this was no exception. No exception. I did all the sub stories. For me, that's kind of tradition now with any new Yakuza game I play. I think I did not really do it with the PS3 era ones necessarily, but I definitely want to do that as well at some point. Whenever I get around to replaying. at least the original PS3 games. What else? Yeah, it was great. It was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Kept me engaged throughout the whole thing. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed Like a Dragon Ishin. Hey, RGG, RGG. And also, I think it has more resonance as well, of course, because I did playing the import version and now playing the fully localized version. Huge difference when it comes to that as well. I think that was also a barrier for me doing all the side quests and stuff, to my knowledge. So at least now playing it with I guess the eyes of playing it in the eyes of you know being able to fully comprehend the cutscenes. Yeah, it was really great. And technically it's remastered, or I guess it's technically a remake. It's because they definitely replaced some of the actors. The graphics are improved, but I think the engine obviously feels pretty much the same. They made some slight changes, like the trooper card system, which was only exclusive to a mini game, is now in the main game, which I don't hate it. It's pretty cool. It was some funny implementation of it. Like I won't spoil necessarily what happens, but it was a boss fight I was in, like, the infamous boss fight. If you've beaten all the sub stories, you know what I'm talking about. That if you use some certain trooper cards, it basically gives you a significant disadvantage when it's generally outside of any other person than this boss. It does not. So I thought that was hilarious as hell. But yeah, Ishin is up there, man. I'd put it, man. I'd potentially put it up there in my top 5 of Yakuza games if I ever do a countdown. But at least after everything's said and done, dust being settled, yeah, that's definitely top 5 Yakuza games for sure. I will stand by that. I will stand on it. Will I die on it? I don't know about that. But also played Armor Core 6. Actually beat it somewhat recently. I had fun. I'll say that. Man, what are my thoughts especially now that some time has passed since I completed it? My initial impression is that I felt like some of the bosses were felt even for Souls game standards. I guess it's not really fair to say but I mean, obviously it's from the same developer, From Software or whatever. But it yeah, some of the bosses felt a little unfair / cheap for sure. Even more so than like I can't even can't even say a Souls game. The bosses felt cheap. They felt fair, but in this game, it feels like some of the bosses were unfair and cheap in a lot of ways. Probably one of my biggest issues with that is that, like, when it comes to the enemies, like, they seem to deliberately try to get out of your aim and force you to turn around and whatnot. But then you also have difficulty trying to track the bosses in a lot of cases. A lot of the bosses seem to have that same behavior where they try to move irregularly, so you can't necessarily pinpoint where they're going. And then in turn, you're at a disadvantage because they're taking advantage of a limitation of your controls, I feel like. I felt like, yeah, at least a couple bosses were specifically like that. They could immediately transport behind you, and you don't really, you cannot not necessarily react appropriately to it. So I mean, I guess technically that forces you to, which is a big component of the game, forcing you to like restructure your mech and to make it more appropriate for certain fights. But even then, even when I felt like I made an optimal build, it felt like some of the bosses were still fairly pretty unfair. Um, which again, I wasn't a fan of. That did diminish my enjoyment of the game a little bit when it came to that. Um, so yeah, but don't get me wrong. Everything else felt very fun. You know, the mission structure felt like a good variety of missions and things like that I did enjoy very much. But yeah, them bosses just really soured my experience with the game. I felt like, and mind you, as somebody who plays and thoroughly enjoys the Soulsborne games and has played every one of them, um, yeah, it really felt like these bosses were pretty cheap, which that I think that says a lot when it comes to, you know, at least somebody coming from a Souls game to this one, even though you can't necessarily directly compare them, but they do have a lot of similarities. There's a stagger system like Sekiro. There is well, I guess that's the main big difference or similarity really. Oh yeah, you have limited health where, you know, similar to the Estus flask or the I forgot what it's called in Sekiro, but basically limited health. And you know, bosses have apparently supposedly they have obvious tells, but in some of the bosses, especially like the end boss, that is not the case. That I highly disagree. Or I don't know. I guess at at some point, maybe this is just a check of my reaction time. Maybe my reaction time is actually diminishing. I don't know, but I don't know, man. It's some of the tells that you're supposed to react to were not. I felt not very fair. Did not give you a good window to do so. Maybe it's just me being nervous and, you know, not managing my boosts well when it comes to like your meter to boost and use your jets and stuff like that. So could be many things. Could be many things. I may potentially revisit after a patch. And that's the other thing too, that apparently there's multiple endings. And I think to get the third one, you have to play the game on New Game Plus or something like that. So you technically have to play the game a third time if you want to get that, which I'm not really a fan of. And, you know, considering the experience I had with Armored Core 6, I'm like, I'm okay. I might just look up a YouTube video that just show the endings and just be done with it. Cause I don't know. You're asking for a lot to ask somebody to play a game over again to try to get another ending, even though, you know, there's some missions that'll be different, but not enough incentive for me though. It's not. But overall, I had a fun experience. I will say that. I'm glad I did play it. Mind you, this is my first Armored Core game I've played, so I've never played the previous ones. I think I may have like some of the PS2 ones, but I've not played them at all. But yeah, I enjoyed it. As somebody, you know, I occasionally like some mechs here and there. You know, I like me some Titanfall back in the day, so I could definitely appreciate the mech design. That's a big, huge component of this game too. You know, just making your custom emblem and sharing it with people online and making your mech. A lot of people doing love letters to, you know, obviously famous mechs in, you know, media. So it's pretty cool and fascinating to see that around. Cool seeing builds and stuff. The build I really liked is the dual trigger Gatling gun build. I thought that was very, very consistent for the most part. I didn't necessarily have to change my setup as much once I, discovered that setup. So it was very good, very, very good. It carried me in a lot of ways. It really did. But yeah, that is Armored Core 6. I don't know if I will put it in my top. I'm not sure if it would make it in my top 10, but we'll see. We'll see. Just my overall sentiments thinking of it. Yeah, I forgot. Like, I spent 3 hours on the last boss, or, quote unquote, the last boss, depending on the ending you get. I assume there are different bosses for each ending, but I'm like, if that boss I faced was what I'm supposed to expect, I'm all right. I beat Armored Core once. I'm okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe they'll patch some stuff I wasn't cool with out. I don't know. But that was Armored Core 6. That it was. That's all I've been playing. I get into what I've been watching, which felt like a while ago now, but I did watch Blue Beetle. This is supposedly the first DC movie in the DC universe, I guess. I think, which it was pretty good. I didn't feel like there wasn't necessarily any continuity when it came to that. It felt very self-contained. I think there were a couple of references to miscellaneous DC stuff here and there, but overall felt pretty self-contained. You got I can't pronounce his name, but he's the dude. I feel like it's an injustice at a point, but he's the dude from the main character from Cobra Kai. I guess I consider him a main character. But yeah, he was good. George Lopez was pretty funny as the typical uncle with the and what is it? The mullet, the Spanish mullet. That was fun. That was enjoyable. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But yeah, Blue Beetle. It was heartfelt. Got a little action in there. Got your comedy. Especially the Latino family. That was pretty refreshing. You never really see that. Well, I think this is totally, the most notable Latino hero, at least superhero wise, when it comes to that. So that was refreshing. I really liked that. I dug the whole family aspect. They really did hone in on that a lot, which was entertaining. So I was a fan. I thoroughly enjoyed it, I have to say. Blue Beetle. I never heard of it until I saw it. I'm like, Blue Beetle. I'm just saying that randomly. With that being said, I think that pretty much concludes this episode of Switches Sites. If you did like the show, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your various podcasting platforms. You can also catch me record this live on Twitch TV/SageSwitch. You can also catch the archive of this on YouTube.com/SageSwitch. And other than that, I don't know. That's really it. Till next time, y'all. Get your Starfield on, your Ninja Turtles on. Get your game on. Feel free to fuck. Aw, yeah. Nobody's safe.